This is Noel Gallagher's first solo, quite similar to the outro solo. Well worth learning, lots of down picks. A few little hammer-ons as well, actually, which are quite cool, but let's dive into it now. So we're up on the 16th fret with our third finger. This is probably the best first solo for most people to learn if you're looking at complicated, not complicated, but kind of going to melody-driven solos, and I recommend beginners pick this one up for sure. So it's a good introduction to bends as well, because that 16th fret bends up a full tone, so that's 2 frets. And then what you do is you release slightly before you repick, and then you do a sort of release bend. So the whole pattern is, and there's definitely repicks in pretty much every time this is played. And everything's down, so then you get, so alternate between that 16th fret and the 14th fret. Third and first fingers are doing all the work here, so that's how you land in bar 35. Now you're jumping up to the 17th fret. Now Noel Gallagher does it with a third finger again, so he goes and then uses the second finger in the following 16th fret to go, and he just does a full bend and release, and then a repick on the down there. So, and that's nice because it means you don't have to do any fourth fingers or too much moving. So if we take it from bar 35 again, you get third finger, second finger, and then the only other thing that's really worth mentioning is the little twiddle trill here at the end. It's the same as the Layla. There's only 2 picks up to that point. So the first 2 notes are covered by a hammer-on. So that's just 1 down pick with a hammer-on. And then the next one is interesting. All of that is 1 pick. And that 16th fret on the D string is not picked. It's just this note again at the end of the phrase that has the pick on it in bar 37. So one more time you get. Worth doing it like that because then you're sticking with down picks the whole time rather than doing a little cheeky up pick in there. Has a very smooth feeling to it if you do it all down picks like that. So let's carry on now and see how this pans out. We get pretty much the same thing again. So bar 37, we've landed there. Then it happens again. So guitar 1, Noel's guitar on the album, holds that note for ages. It drops after a couple of bars, I think to the 9th fret, if you want to be really specific about where it lands, which is interesting, because it's a dissonance with the C#7 underneath. It has that little kind of dissonant sound, but I quite like it. There's also lots of vibrato. And then we'll just cover off what happens underneath, which is you get this C#7. And then it drops back into... If you're Bonehead, you drop into this in verse 2. Whereas if you're Noel, you go back to your verse 1 pattern that we've covered before in a previous lesson. One other thing just to quickly mention, if you have a tremolo pedal, you can achieve some of the shimmering effects that only really happen on this chord in bar 43. If I put my little tremolo on, it's not quite the right settings again, but if I put it on and play that for you, it has a little bit of a shimmery sound which you can hear on the album. Could add in a little bit of chorus as well. That might just help you achieve the specifics of the album on that particular moment, but I don't think if you're playing it kind of as a live performance, it's really worth pressing that one pedal on just for that second. Just for a couple of seconds of shimmer, but if you want to, it's there. We're going to tackle Bonehead's verse pattern next. Thanks for watching though. I hope you enjoyed the solo. The outro solo is kind of similar, so look out for that lesson which is coming soon. In the meantime, subscribe, more Oasis on the way, and we'll see you in our next part.